Let's go to the moon. Okay, welcome to Kerbin, for those of you who've not played KSP before. This is the Space Center. That's where you build your ships, that's where you launch them, that's where you track them, and this is where we spend science. So here's my not very full tech tree, but we've got enough to land on the moon here. Yeah, that's the important one. So let's take a look at where we're going. So we are here. And this is where we're going. We do have some relay satellites in orbit of Kerbin and the Mun. They serve as a communications relay if I want to send my science back to Kerbin. Science being the currency you use to unlock more bits for your spaceship. So, you should probably build or more importantly a lander. So here are some rockets I built already. This one has taken us around the Mun a couple of times. This basic design provides more than enough delta V to get us to the moon and back. But I don't think a lander's going to fit on top of it, so we're going to start from scratch. So this is where the parts all live. So to start off with, we need a lander that's going to sit on top of the rocket. So this is not going to work the way the Apollo landers did, mostly because I don't have any kind of docking couplings unlocked yet, so I can't do a separate command module and lunar module. So we're going to have to build something that can land on the moon, but also land back on Kerbin. Not ideal, but we're working with some pretty primitive tech. So we should be able to take 2 Kerbals with us. So we've got Jebediah, the pilot, and we're going to take Bob, who is a scientist, so that we can keep all of our sensors in tip-top condition. Farm as much science as possible. So, first things first, we're going to need something to keep this thing stable. I think we'll go with one of these. We'll sit that here. This is going to need to be able to decouple from an engine for re-entry when we come back to Kerbin. Speaking of re-entry, we'll probably need an appropriately sized heat shield. That's kind of big, isn't it? That ain't really big enough. Screw it, we'll see what happens. I'm betting on a huge bang, but we'll see what happens. Gonna need a stack separator. Not into that. In an ideal world, we're going to want to harvest a bit of science as well. So I'm not sure our Kerbals are going to be able to EVA on the moon, unless I've got a ladder. I do not. Alright, we are going to need some lights to see what we're landing on. And also some landing struts. Alright, let's hope those are retractable. Are they retractable? Oops. That's probably good a proof, Sunny, that I've never done this before. Right. We'll mess around with those later. We'll need to hotkey a retract or extend. Probably try and get the lights to switch on at the same time we extend the struts. Yeah, they'll just blow the engine, they'll be alright. Okay. So that's moon landing taken care of, hopefully. We should probably take a look at landing on Kerbin 2. I think we might want some drogue chutes too. Probably only 2 of them, but this is a bit heavier than just a command module. So I might want to put couple of solar panels and a battery, because we are going to be using some electricity, and we are going to worry a little bit about controlling it in 0G without some sort of RCS system. Oh, sorry, rather in a vacuum. That's in command and control. These are a little bit lighter. Where are we going to put them? That's the next question. I think that'll do. Probably want some monopropellant somewhere. Don't think we'll need 4 of them. 1 should be adequate. I think if we try and bung it down here somewhere out of the way. Oh, that's right for an RCS thruster. And I want to dump this with this stage ideally. Let's move these lights. I wonder if we really need 4 of them. Seems a little greedy. Let's try 3. That doesn't work at all, does it? Screw it, let's see what happens. Right. Let's give it a name and a little test run. Shame I can't really fit a Christ, I've got no idea what I'm doing here. Screw it, let's just see if it flies. Let's just warp to sunrise. Let's watch this thing crash in all its glory. So, we're going to turn on the stability assist and RCS system. Throttle up, and then fire the engines. So this ain't gonna work in 1G. So see the RCS system works. Cool. So hopefully nothing's going to explode. Oh, short mission. We're not going to get anything from it, but bolting this thing onto a rocket. Cool. Right, I think we're going to need 2 stages to get this all the way to the moon. should probably also think about comms. So with that in mind, I'm just going to stick a couple of those on to learn how to set an action group for them. I think that's probably overkill. I think we'll be alright with the 2 we've stuck on there. If I put this one on the other side. Right. I'm going to need to bolt a fairly sizable rocket to the bottom of this. So first of all, let's get a stack separator in there. So you notice there's a few kinds of decouplers and separators. Stack separators just give us a bit of distance between the spent stage and the next stage when we're separating. So it lowers the chances of a collision, although bearing in mind who's flying it, there's still a reasonable chance of a collision. Alright. So this should be a stage that burns for the moon. So it's not going to need a huge rocket strapped to it. We're going to save that for the launch stage. So that should be enough fuel to comfortably get us into orbit. So, another stack separator. And let's bolt something scary to the bottom of this. So we are looking for structural items, a few more fuel tanks. Bunch of these. I think 3 of them will be more than enough. Alright. So that is the most powerful engine I currently have. It also has thrust vectoring, which means essentially I've got a little bit more control over this rocket while we're heading up. Okay. So bolt some whacking great big boosters onto this. I am not good at attaching boosters to decouplers. I often get this wrong, and then the booster remains stuck to the rocket, and all kinds of bad things happen when you can't attach your boosters. Jesus wept. Alright. Let's just... I mean, for crying out loud, if I can do it there, why can't I... Jesus. Yeah, if somebody knows a better way of doing this, please tell me. Nope. I mean, that doesn't look right either. It's attached to the decoupler, but it's not attached correctly. Come on. against my better judgment, we'll just try connecting that's holding this to my rocket. I mean, if these go flying off when we launch, no one's going to be surprised. God's sake. This is going to make up for like 50% of the runtime of this video at this rate. Okay, right, those need to sit a little bit further down. That's better. Right, let's take a look at our stages. Alright, so I want all my engines to fire together. There we go. We'll then decouple the boosters. When the main stage is spent, we will then decouple, and then we'll be able to fire the next engine. Once that's spent, we decouple, hopefully take the lander down, do a little bit of science on the moon, and then burn back into orbit, and hopefully we have enough fuel left to make it back safely to Kerbin. We should be alright. Let's stick some nose cones on these. Makes them look cool. Right. Why isn't that letting me change anything? Right. Let's not forget our scientist. Alright. Quick save. Let's get this thing on the launch pad. Cool.